had everything. The kind of life people admired from a distance. The kind people pointed to and said, "That's success. Money, status, respect." A future that looked secure on paper, a life that made sense to everyone else. But every night, when the lights went off and the noise of the world faded, he felt empty. Not poor, not broken, just tired. Tired in a way sleep could never fix. Tired in a place rest could never reach. From the outside, he was winning. From the inside, he was drowning quietly. Without splashing, without calling for help, without knowing how to explain what was pulling him under. Every morning began the same way. Messages, deadlines, expectations. People who needed him to be strong. People who depended on him being steady. People who believed he had it all together. So he smiled. He showed up. He performed. Because that's what strong people do. They don't complain. They don't slow down. They don't fall apart where anyone can see. No one ever asked him how he felt. And even if they did, he wouldn't have known how to answer. Because how do you explain a pain that doesn't bleed, that doesn't bruise, that doesn't show up on scans or tests? He was taught early that pressure was normal, that stress meant progress, that exhaustion was proof you were doing something right. So he kept going, pushing, enduring, ignoring the tightness in his chest, ignoring the heaviness in his thoughts, convincing himself that this was just what adulthood felt like, that this was the price of ambition, until the silence inside him became louder than the applause outside. At work, he was respected. At home, he was admired. Online, he was praised. But alone, he felt like a stranger, living someone else's life. He stared at his reflection and wondered when he stopped recognizing himself. Things that once brought joy started to feel distant. Music sounded empty. Food tasted bland. Laughter felt forced. Moments passed, but nothing landed. And still, he told himself the same lies. Others have it worse. You should be grateful. You have no reason to feel this way. Those words didn't heal him. They only taught him to feel guilty for hurting at all. Some nights, he sat in his car long after reaching home, not because he had nowhere to go, but because he didn't want to face the version of himself waiting inside those walls. He scrolled endlessly, not for entertainment, but for distraction, for noise loud enough to drown out his thoughts, for something, anything, that felt like relief. But peace never came from the screen. His body began to speak. When his mouth couldn't, headaches that lingered, restlessness that never settled, sudden anger over small things, a heart that raced for no reason at all. Doctors said he was fine. Friends said he was strong. Family said he was blessed. So he believed the problem must be him, that maybe he was ungrateful. Maybe he was weak. Maybe he was failing at a life others would gladly trade places for. One evening, after another long day of pretending, he sat on the edge of his bed. The room was quiet, too quiet, and for the first time, he stopped running from the truth. I'm not okay. The words felt heavy, but also honest. That night, the thoughts came harder than usual. What if this is all life is? What if I never feel calm again? What if I'm failing? Silently, his chest tightened. His breathing shortened. The walls felt closer. For a moment, he wondered if disappearing would be easier than explaining his pain, and that thought terrified him. Not because he wanted to die, but because he didn't know how to keep living like this. The next morning, he didn't wake up healed. Nothing magical happened, but something changed. He stopped pretending everything was fine, not to the world, but to himself. He took a day off. No phone, no noise, just silence and the weight he'd been carrying for years. For the first time, he allowed himself to feel it all. The fear, the exhaustion, the sadness he'd buried beneath achievements and responsibilities. And in that stillness, he realized something important. Peace isn't loud. It doesn't come with applause. It doesn't arrive when you win. It doesn't show up when others finally approve of you. Peace comes when you listen, really listen, to the parts of you that have been screaming quietly for far too long. He started making small changes, not dramatic ones, not life-shattering decisions, just honest ones. He said no more often, even when it felt uncomfortable. He rested without guilt, even when his mind tried to tell him he hadn't earned it yet. He stopped measuring his worth by productivity alone. Some days were still hard, some nights were still heavy, but now he wasn't running from himself anymore. He learned that strength isn't never breaking. Strength is knowing when to pause, when to breathe, when to choose yourself, even when the world expects more. He learned that having everything means nothing if you're losing yourself in the process. And slowly, very slowly, the noise inside him softened. Not because life became perfect, not because the pressure disappeared, but because he finally gave himself permission to be human. If you're watching this and something feels familiar, if you look successful on the outside but feel empty within, know this: you are not weak, you are not broken, and you are not alone. Peace is not a reward for suffering long enough. It's something you deserve right now. Sometimes the bravest thing you can do is admit you're tired and choose yourself anyway, because having everything should never cost you your peace. If this story spoke to you, stay. There are more stories here for hearts that are quietly carrying too much. Take a breath. You made it this far, and that matters.
Some stories don't end, they stay with you. Like, subscribe, and share.